Kufnun at the bottom. We were discussing what a person is able to do on Shabbos. We said that he's not allowed to wait at the border to go ahead and bring his fruits. You can't do that because you're not allowed to bring your fruits on Shabbos. He's not allowed to wait at a border to hire poilim because you're not allowed to hire poilim on Shabbos. He is, however, allowed to go ahead and wait at a border to go ahead and watch his payros. In other words, as soon as Shabbos is over, to go watch his payros because he's able to do it on Shabbos. The rule of thumb seems to be something you could do on Shabbos. You're able to be mchashech. You're able to go ahead and stand at the boundary of your tchum to go right after Shabbos is over. Okay. Now, if you look on Kuf Nun, let's see. Rabbi Shol says something very, very obscure. Yeah. Yes.
The reason is because it's not a Shabbos thing to do. You're afraid that you might actually hire Poland.
I mean, it's Shabbos. It's mimsay chavetzecha. Your words are supposed to be for Shabbos. It's not a Shabbos thing to do. You're not. Yeah.
Then as opposed to being afraid of actually making a mistake and hiring Poland.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to hire Poland. Yeah.
Watch you stuff on Shabbos is also not going to Shabbos to do.
Right.
To watch your peers.
No, you are allowed to watch your parents on Shabbos. If you have a field, you're able to go in your field on Shabbos to do it. No problem. Okay, so now you look at the Mishnah. It says Abishol on Kuf Nun. It says Abishol Kol Shani Zakai B'Mirasai. Anything I'm zeicha to say, Rishoyani Lahach Shechalav. I'm permitted to go ahead and wait by the boundary. Anything I'm able to say, I'm permitted to go ahead and wait by the boundary. Harry Bacon's on. Anyway, so what exactly is going on here? What is he going on? Now Abishol can possibly be going on one of two cases. He can be going on the Resha where we said that you're not able to go ahead and wait to hire poilim or to bring fruit, or he can be going on the Sefer which said you could go ahead and wait there to watch your payros. So which is he going on? So that's where we're going to pick it up on Kuf Nun at the bottom. Abishol Ahei. The bottom line. Where is Abishol going on? Ilay Maresha, the first case, in the case describing what you cannot do, right? You can't go ahead and wait on the tchum, right? Lischa poilim lehevi peiros. You can't wait on the tchum to hire poilim. Then that's very strange because he says anything you're zeicha to say, you should be able to wait. I should say, which is a positive statement. If he's going on a negative statement, he should be speaking negatively. The negative. You're not allowed to wait to hire workers. So what does he say? But you could go and say to say in the negative. Anything you can't go ahead and say you can't do. So obviously he can't be going on case number one. So he must be going on case number two. What was case number two? You are able to go and wait to go ahead and wash your fruit. You're able to go ahead and wash your fruit. Ella asayf. You're going on the sefer. Sefer kai. Avol machshechu. He's able to go ahead and wait. Lishmar umevi peris biyada. He's able to wait on the boundary that his Shabbos is over. He can go ahead and bring his peris. Now, what did he say? You're able now kol sha'ani zakev v'chashichasai v'rishoy ani ba'amirasai mi boilei. Well, guys, we're learning a lot about waiting on the boundary. And what does he say? Anything is zocha to say, you can wait by the boundary. You should say, anything I'm zocha to wait by the boundary, you could say. In other words, address the word of the Mishnah. The Mishnah was waiting. It's an act of waiting, not an act of talking. So why does he go ahead and preface his remark by saying talking? He should preface his remark by saying waiting if he's addressing the sefer. Why does he do that? So says the Gemara, you're right. It says the Gemara, V'abishala ha'koi. Ein achinami. L'oilam ha'sefer koi. L'oilam is going on the sefer. We had a question. If he's going on the sefer, why does he say Amira first? Says the Gemara, it's like a shtickle chesuri mechsur. Guys, it's a good fetch to Gemara. It's like a shtickle chesuri mechsur. It's missing words. V'abishala ha'koi. D'amar Yehuda Amar Shmuel. Now again, this is a statement of an Amoira. In other words, this is the statement that Abishol verbalized before the Amoraim. He was before them. That he verbalized before the Amoraim. This is the statement. Now, what was the statement? Mutala Adam, a person is permitted, loyma lechavera, to say to his friend, Shamali peiros shebetuchumcha. Listen, watch my peiros that are in your tchum. watch my parents that are in your tchum. How are you doing? So good to see you. Huh? Well, welcome back. You're current? You're current? Great. Welcome back. Baruch Hashem. Good to see you. Okay. Now, Shomli perish betchumcha, va'ani eshmalcha perish betchum me. Do me a favor. My field is in your tchum. Your field is in my tchum. Tit for tat. I'll watch yours and you'll watch mine. Good? In other words, that's an amira. So your moida, you can do that. Your moida, you can do that, chachamim. The Kama B'Shol Tanakama, listen. Milay moidis, do you not admit? What Moish is? What's your name? Avrami. I mean Avrami ben David. Okay, we're up Kufnan Aleph Amid Aleph, and we're about 12 lines down. Milay moidis the muta adam loymel chaverai shamali peiroi shebetchumcha v'ani eshmal chapeir shebetchumi. Aren't you moided that we can go ahead and say this? You'll watch mine, I'll watch yours. Now, so in other words, so if that's the case, by the Amira, then I can go ahead and wait by the boundary to watch your Paris, right? Just like you wait by the boundary to watch my Paris. The Ema, therefore, say, Kol Shani Zaka B'Mirasoi, R'Shoi Nila Hachshikalav. In other words, since this is true, why are you limiting your din of we're watching Paris? Anything that you could say, you should be, in other words, anything I can say on Shabbos, I should be able to be machshich also. Like, and I can tell you on Shabbos, how about yours, you watch mine. And klal asui, what's the rule coming to include? Kol, my lasui, hadatan rabbanan. Ein machshichin al tchum lehevi behema. You can't go ahead and be machshich on tchum behema because you can't bring the behema on Shabbos, because the behema is muktzah. You can't bring the behema on Shabbos. But if the animal is outside the tchum, kairala, you can call the animal. You can call the animal and say, here, come, hey Betsy, come over here. He bought. So klalom abishol kol shani zaka b'mirasai v'shoy nila hachshtikalav. Therefore, in addition, umachashichin lepakeach aliskei kala, I can wait by the boundary to go ahead and if there's a mitzvah of iskei kala to do right afterwards, we said to cut laurels, right, for the cut hadassim. The aliskei hames, we saw to go ahead and deal with the tachrichin and the oren. Lehevi le'oren v'tachrichin. V'oimrim loy leich l'makam pleni. Go to such a place for the kala to get that asim. Go to such a place to get the arin. If you don't find the arin over there, go to another place. In other words, you can say all of these things, and since you can say all of these things, you can go ahead and machshich on these things. Well, what's the money? If you don't find it for $100, have a messiah, you bring it for $200. Provided you don't go ahead and give an amount. So he's basically saying the following: why did he go ahead and mention Amira? Obviously, he's going on the Sefer, but he's had a time on the Chachamim. Why do you just limit your case to a case of what? Watching fruit, and say physically, say it, be more expansive. If you say Amira, it can include more things. And therefore, he said, anything that you're Zoicha Amira, you can be Zoicha B'Chatshecha. You just simply said, you can go to the boundaries to go ahead and watch your fruit after Shabbos. Be more expansive. You can go to the boundary to tell your friend to watch your fruit. In other words, you can go to tell him. Why? Because since the Amir is Zoicha and Shabbos, I'm Zoicha B'Chashecha. That's the pshat.
Why is the case for all watch your fruit, you watch mine? Isn't that not considered like being paid to do something on Shabbos?
I think it's tit for tat. I think it's like it's bartering. Yeah. You're not going to come, but you're not going to come to since we're doing the exact same thing, you're not going to come to write it down. The reason you don't do business on Shabbos, you may read a star, you may go ahead and write something. Over here, since it's Shabbos, it's an equal thing. I don't think it will be a problem. Again, I'm saying that you just like you said, you could watch food on Shabbos. I told you, you can watch somebody else's food on Shabbos. You can. That's that act of going ahead and be Messiah or mitzvahs, going around the borders. You can do it. Yeah. Chaim?
Yeah, this all comes down to really, it's just the Amira. In other words, I can go for a stroll to the edge of the Tchum and stand there. But as long as I'm not saying why I'm going or what I'm doing there, right? But if
I don't know if you're able to go just to the end of the Tchum for something after Shabbos. Again, you're going for a specific purpose to go out of the Tchum right after Shabbos. Mehechatesi, you can do that.
Why can't I walk in my Tchum Shabbos?
You could walk there, but for what? For what purpose?
It sounds like the verse of the Amira. I can't say what I'm doing and why I'm doing it.
No. Your mechashtin means that you're going on Shabbos to take care of something point right after Shabbos. Nothing to do with the Amira.
So you're saying like taking a nap on Erev Shabbos for after Shabbos. You're not supposed to say it's the same idea, right? You take a nap today, let's say, but
That's what I'm trying to say.
right, that's what he's trying to say.
In other words, so long as I don't say why I'm doing what I'm doing, what's the issue? What's the issue with going for a walk?
Again, we're talking about going on Shabbos
Right.
at the edge of the boundary for the purpose of doing something right after Shabbos. You're
Okay.
simple. You could do anything. I can always go to the edge of the boundary and wait till right after Shabbos. It doesn't seem that's in the spirit of Shabbos. It doesn't seem you're able to do that. In other words, in the spirit of Shabbos, if I'm going to go ahead and hire poilim right after Shabbos, you're not allowed to go there. According to you, you should be allowed to go there. According to you, you can shmatzir anywhere you want, stay at the end of Shabbos, you'll say Baruch HaMabdil there, and then go hire poilim. It's not true. You can't do that. So you see that your premise is not correct. The first thing of the Mishnah was what?
Yeah.
I'll read it to you. The first thing in the Mishnah says the first thing in the Mishnah, Lo yischar adam poilim b'Shabbos, lo yoma adam l'chaver l'slei poilim, ein machshichin al tchum. You cannot be mashal al tchum l'schal poilim l'hevi. You can't do it. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to. What you thought is correct. It's not true. You're not allowed to do that.
But he's allowed to go lishmar. I can go stand there. I want to go look at my
I
feet.
can go there, right. So anything that I can do on Shabbos, I can go there before Shabbos. Anything I can't do on Shabbos, I can't go there.
So it's like folding your talus and cleaning off the table after Shal Shuddis. I mean, it's not a.
But that could be a shiloh of hachana. Over here, if you look at Rashi in the Mishnah. Look at Rashi in the Mishnah. Kufman. Now this is the whole starting point. You're bringing back the whole starting point. What's wrong with this? Look at Rashi in the Mishnah. Says Rashi in the Mishnah, Ein machshichin al tchum, lekariv atzmei b'Shabbos at soif atchum, ulahachshich sham, and to wait till it gets dark, sheyekariv l'makam apoilim, that you should be close to the place to hire workers, oile pardes, or to a field to bring fruit, lady paris, chol davar she'asa lasoise b'Shabbos, read it, asa lahachshich alav.
Oh, yeah.
It's also you can't just go to Tchum and wait there. It's not like that. Okay, we're going weiter. Says the Mishnah on Kufnan Aleph Amid Aleph. Says the Mishnah Kufnan Aleph Amid Aleph. Machshichin al Tchum. You could go. This is Abba Shalom we just said. You can go to the Tchum and wait there. Levakeach al iskei kalim, to wait to take care of iskei kal. Excuse me. Vel iskei hameis lehevi le'aron. The tachrichin, to bring an orin and tachrichin. Nachri shehevi chalilim Shabbos, a nachri that brings flutes on Shabbos. Lo yisbevim Yisrael. We're worried that he bought it for the purpose of the Jew. Again, we can't be mahana from Shabbos, guys, right? You can't be mahana from Chil Shabbos. So therefore, we're worried about that. And therefore, what? And therefore, you can't go ahead and use it. Elim came boy mekmakum korav. If he came from a place that's close and you're not chayish that he did not eat. It's brought out from outside the tchum, then it'll be permitted. Asloi arin, if the guy made an arin, the chafloi kever, or he dug a grave, yikva by Yisrael. After Shabbos, the Yisrael can be buried in that grave, and we're not going to say he made the grave or the arin or the coffin for the Jew. The imbishvil Yisrael, if it's the purpose of the Yisrael, la yikav by alamis, then you should never. If he dug it for the Jew, you should never be buried in it forever. That's it. You can't go ahead and do it. Okay. What's the first din? We said that if he brings a flute from a makam karev, then you could use it. My makam karev. What is the makam karev? Rav Amar mi makam karev mamish. Rav says it has to be what from a makam karev mamish. It has to be from a really, really a close place. In other words, you have to know unequivocally. It says Rashi Kloimar sheyedu alonu. It's known to us. Birur hadava, clearly the memakim karav bo sheri inum shehiv hayu. So we saw he had in his house, right? We saw it had in his house, and therefore that's a makim karav. Shmuel semachashin shemachutz l'chayim alanu. We say no. We say it's enough that what that that as long as we know that it wasn't outside, we'll say that was close by. We'll say it's close by. Now, Dekanai Masnis in the Kavasi, the Shmuel, the Tani. Now, Rashi goes with the following girsa, okay? Rashi uses the following girsa, and we're going to take out some words, okay? We're going to bring a raya to Shmuel, not to Rav, okay? We're going to bring a raya. Okay, let's go. What does it say? Take out the words, and we're going to start from the Tanya Kavase, the Shmuel. You see the base there? See the word it says Tanya Kavase, you have a bracket, the base. We say Tanya Kavase, the Shmuel. We're going to bring a raya to Shmuel. This is Rashi's main girsa, guys. We're going to bring a raya to Shmuel that we're makel. Guys, Rav is being machmi here, right? Rav is being very machmi. Rav is saying we have to know for sure, says Rav, we have to know for sure it came from a Makom Karoiv. According to Shmuel, we'll be told, we'll say, hey, as long as we don't see it coming from outside the Chum, we're cool. So therefore, we're going to bring a brisa now that is kuladik, and then it's going to be a raya to Shmuel. So therefore, I'm basically erasing the Gemara. So we just skipped a few lines, and Tanya Kavasi, not the Rav, but Tanya Kavasi the Shmuel. Ir she Yisrael v'nochrim darimba, a city where you have both Jews and Gentiles living in the city. V'hoisav a merchatz, and you have a bathhouse. Amrachetzes b'Shabbos, that's open on Shabbos. Imrayv nachrim, if majority, we had this earlier in the Masechta, if the majority of the people in the bathhouse are nachrim, so erev roichitz ba miyad. Immediately the Jew can go to Shabbos because any of the water that was heated up, guys, was heated up for the purpose of the guy, so it wasn't for the Jew. However, in Rav Yisrael, if it was Rav Yisrael that was heated up, then Yamtim ad kadei sheyichamu. You're going to have to wait Motzei Shabbos till the time it takes to heat it up, because we're going to say that they heated it up. Since the majority of the town is Jews, we're going to say that probably he heated up for Jews. Mechzal mechza, then you should wait ad kadei sheyichamu. Half and half, then you don't know which way to go. And Rabbi Yehuda Omer, here's Akula. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, the Ambati Katana, let's say it's a small bathhouse. In Yeshba Roshos, if you have a head honcho there, Roichitz Ba Miyad, you can go ahead and use it immediately. My Roshos, what do you mean? What's Roshos? I'm Rabbi Yehuda Marav, Yitzchak, Rabbi Yehuda, and Yeshba Adam Choshev, Sheish Le Asara Avodim. A person's got at least 10 people who matter, right? 10 people whose lives matter. Shem Chamim Loi Yud kumkumim, that should heat up 10 kumkumim v'asachas mabati katana and mutal lichas b'miyad. So you see, the Yehud is mekel. So says the Gra, this is a riot to Shmuel. The fact that we're allowing you immediately after Shabbos to use the bathhouse if they have a chashva person in the town with a small bathtub. So that's the way the Gra learns.
Why? What makes it better for people?
This is halacha. I mean, this halacha that they pour it in quicker. They get it done quickly. So this is the raya to this is the raya that he brings. And look at I didn't make this up, by erasing the words. You trust me, or I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you. If you look right before Rashi, right before the lines get wide, go up 4 lines. Tanya Kavasi the Shmuel. V'loy garsinan, and we're not goyers daik masnisan and misveika shari. We took out those words. Maisi siyata l'Shmuel, and we're bringing a raya to Shmuel, not to Rav. From who? With the Rav Yehuda. From the words of Rav Yehuda, we've said if there is a head honcho in the city, like the Talin and Lakula, that would be Toilet Lakula. So therefore, that's where I got it from. And now, from Rashi, and that's right. Rashi says V'li nira ikka, guys. Look, 2 lines, skip a line. Rashi says V'loshen zeh nearly ikka, and this seems to be the main pshat. So therefore, Machlokes Rav and Shmuel, according to Rav, you have to know unequivocally it came from a close place. According to Shmuel, will be more lenient and will be chayish that it came from a place. The Mishnah said, if you make an oren, you dig a grave. So, why can you bury it right away? You should have to wait the time it takes to dig a grave. So, the grave is situated near a main road. Usually, a Jew is not going to be buried near a main road. It's a goy. So the location tells us who was it made for. It was made for the guy. Since it was made for the guy, then we'll say that you can use it right away because it was dug for the guy. How to explain using the keva that was dug, right? But the Orin Ma'iklamim, what are you going to say about the Orin? What are you going to say about an Orin? An Orin, obviously, you wouldn't know. It says Gemara bin Mutal al Kivroi, this Orin is lying by the grave. So the assumption is if the grave was made in a position, a location for Goyim, and the Orin was by the grave, we're going to assume that the Orin also was made for what? For the Orin was also made for the Goy, and therefore the Jew can use it right away. You don't have to wait to build an Orin. The Mishnah says, Oisin Kol Tzarchei HaMeis, you can go ahead and do all the needs for a mace on Shabbos. Sachin, you can go ahead and take oil and rub on the mace. Umatichnei soy, you can wash the mace. Ubevachla yosses boy aver, provided you don't move a limb. Throughout the Masech, I've focused that muktzah fellas, we sometimes when you were a kid you were taught don't touch it. Muktzah can be touched, it can't be moved. Muktzah can be touched, it can't be moved. You're able to lean against the car on Shabbos. You're able to touch a car on Shabbos. You're not able to move a car. You're able to touch a dog. You're not able to pick up a dog. I don't advise getting a dog for Shabbos. It's very difficult, especially when it's a little cute dog. So really, but I'm saying that. So the same thing over here, and the chiddush over here is you're not even moving the whole body. Just moving an aver will be constituted movement. Usually, you think that you have to move the whole body. No, even over here, the muktzah would be just moving an aver would be considered muktzah.
Would he be able to move a kalachiyad?
What do you mean? Kick it?
To move the mace with his
Where do you want to move the mace?
No, so you can wash it. You can lift
No,
up
no.
his
Again,
hand.
no. Klachiyad is not lichatchila dikadin. It's a b'di'evet dikadin. Right? Klachiyad is only b'di'evet, not lichatchila.
Okay.
Now, shoymtim esakani tachtov. You go ahead. Let's say he's lying on a sheet or a pillow. You can go ahead and slip it out from underneath him. And put him on what? On the take out the cushion and put him on the sand, but not right. Put on the sand.
Moving the mace, just moving an aver. So the mace is
correct. That's good. So what's the chiddush? Moving an aver is considered movement, and that's what I said. That's the chiddush. Baruch. And therefore.
You just give him another question.
Anyway, umatil nesel achoil b'shvil on the days sheyamtin that it should be moist. Now, this is the interesting halacha. Koshnes halechi, you're able to go ahead and tie up his jaw to the top of his head, like because his jaw shouldn't droop. Lo sheyala ela shlo yosef. Not that to raise it up, but it shouldn't droop more. It shouldn't droop more. I guess Yudi's not here. You'll be able to help us out when we need. Why they do that on Shabbos? This is Shabbos.
I know. Saying just in general.
Huh? You can't close the eyes on Shabbos. We can see, and that's the next Mishnah. You can't close the eyes. That's the next Mishnah. These are the halachas of a mace. So let's say a beam that has broke, you can be samich it out with a safsel, with a bench, a baruch samita, or a bedpost. Not that you want to raise it up, that the beam shouldn't come down more. So also over here, you want if the jaw is drooping, you want to keep the jaw at a certain angle and not anything more than that. And not anything more than that. Fred the Gemara, Rav Yehuda Shmuel. Ma'aseh b'Talmida shel Reb Meir. It was the Ma'aseh with the Talmud of Meir. Shenichnas achro lebeis hamerchatz. Went afterwards him to the beis hamerchatz. Bikesh la'adichay karka. He wanted to wash the karka off. So amalai emadichin. So lasach karka. He wanted to go ahead and lasach to smear the karka because of reach ra. So amalai ein sachen. So the question is, what's the reason you're putting oil on the mace? Is to impede the odor of the mace. So over here in a bathhouse, I guess it's not such a geschmacka odor. So you want to go ahead and take the oil and smear it on the tiles. You don't have to worry about you're not worried about mashvagumis over here. It's a bathhouse. Right. It's tiled, so you're worried. It's only to get rid of a bad odor. So the kasher is Why by a bathhouse do we not allow smearing of the oil, and why by the mace do we allow the smearing of the oil? So the Gemara answers beautifully. Karka b'karka machlafa. If we allow you to go ahead and smear oil on the bathhouse floor, you may come to go ahead and smear it on a regular floor, and then you're going to be mashva gumas. Mace b'karka michlef. But allowing you to go ahead and smear oil on the mace, we won't go ahead on and mix up with the karka, and therefore it is permitted.
Why is that not included cover the mace? You just said all the needs of the mace cover the mace, right?
Yeah.
Why is that not included cover the mace?
Which of what, smearing?
Yeah.
It is. It is covered in mace. It is covered in mace. That's the only reason you're doing it.
Why didn't you give that answer instead of?
Right, by the full, because even if it's covered in mace, we're not going to allow you to be Mechal Shabbos if we can avoid it. In other words, we don't allow you, think about it. The jaw is drooping very much. We only could close that shite. We can see you won't close the eyes. The mace is still muktzah. We didn't just say absolve totally cover the mace hilly and say, oh, everything goes, right? We kept certain boundaries. Kol asuyemai. Now it said, Kol tzarchei mace. Now you just mentioned a bunch of them. What does it come to include? Maila asuyeh. Hadatan rabbanon mevin kli mekar. You could bring a kli that's cold, ukli matachos, or a kli of metal, umanichem al kreisai, and leave it on his stomach. Kadesh leit tefuach, that he shouldn't get bloated, right? You don't want him to get bloated. So as a result of going ahead and putting on his stomach, it's going to keep his stomach flat. Upoik es nekavlav. You're able to go ahead and stuff up. Nekavim, chalulim. You're able to go ahead in order that the ruach shouldn't go in. Shlomo said as in Chachma, Shlomo said in Koheles, Ad shelo yerasek chevel hakesef, until the snap, the rope of silver doesn't snap. What's the rope of silver? Zechut hashidra. That refers to the spinal column. And the pasuk continues. The soritz goylas hazav, and it shattered the golden bowl. What's the golden bowl? Ze'ama. That's the ava. The tishaver kad al hamavua, and you break a barrel on its fountain. Zehakeres. V'noritz hagagal al bar, and the wheel is smashed into the bar. Zeh perish. That refers to the excrement. The chinu aimer is a resi perish al penechem, perish chagechem. And I spread the perish on the faces, the perish of your chag. Amrav hu November lo amrav chag. What does that mean? Elu b'nei adam sheminichim b'vei Torah v'osim kol hayom kechagim. These are people who party all the time. They leave Torah and they party all the time. So what happens after they die? Amrav Levi, Amrav Papi, Amrav Shua, Lacha Shleisha Yom, after 3 days of death, kreislein of kas, their stomachs burst open. The neufel slay al panav, and everything that was in there goes and comes over their face. And the stomach says to the person, "Too much in the to be. Take back what you gave to me. You overindulged whatever you gave to me." So I guess the Chachamim know what even Lacha Chayres after the burial, after 3 days, they still know what goes on. Says the Mishnah, "Eim atzmin es hameis b'Shabbos." You can't go ahead and close the mace's eyes on Shabbos. But that's even if it's dead already. And you're not able to close the eyes with Yitzias Neshama. We're going to see, guys, if you close the eyes with Yitzias Neshama, that is Shvichas Damim. Anything that you makarav the death of a person, that is not like you kill him. It's not kid. It's going to say it is Shvichas Damim. The lashon of the Gemara is very, very, very. The doctors, I'm sure, know this. Right? Correct. Anything. Listen, it's fascinating. Yeah, after death. This is before. Yeah, this is. It says v'lo yibchol im yitzias nefesh, with the yitzias nefesh, right? V'hamatzim im yitzias nefesh harizeh shayfich damim. It doesn't say ki'ilu shayfich damim. It's anyone who goes ahead and closes the eyes, even that amount of strength that you're sapping from the geisis. This person obviously is terminally ill. Is a kind term. He's holding by death's door. Nonetheless, it's my shayfich damim, right? Look at Rashi, shayfich damim kivin farish bebraysa b'gemara shebetareach muit mekarav misaso. With this little action in mekarav is death. It's amazing. Tanur Rabbanan. Hama atzmim im yitzias nefesh. You close the eyes with yitzias nefesh. I says shefech damim, like our Mishnah says, you will consider shefech damim. Mashal and ner shekava, a ner that's flickering. V'hayleches. Adam meniach etzboy Allah. A person takes his hand and puts it on it. Miyad kafsa, immediately goes out. So mamish, that's exactly it. The neshama is flickering, and so just like you're extinguishing the light, so too you're extinguishing the ner elikim nishmas adam. Right? The ner elikim is nishmas adam. It's a very good mashal. Tanya b'shum goloyma. If you want to go ahead and close the eyes of a mace, what should you do? I guess blow yayin in his nostrils. Put oil between his eyes. And take hold of his two big his thumb toe. The hemis atzmim me'aleim, and they'll go ahead and close by themselves. I guess this is if a person has trouble closing them. I try it. Sometimes if the eyes they have rigor mortis out of it, I don't know. Tanya, Tinoik ben Yomi, a tinoik that is a day old. Listen to this Gemara, guys. Tinoik ben Yomi chai, mechal navas Shabbos. David Melech Yisrael Mace, ein mechal navas Shabbos. Can you imagine? A tinoik, 1 day old. Why does he done nothing in his life? Absolutely nothing, except cause his mother a lot of pain in the birth process, right? He's done nothing. But yet we'll be mechal Shabbos for him. And one of the greatest people in the history of the world is lying. We won't be mechal Shabbos for. We'll have to put a piece of bread on him for Takana de Rabbanan to move him, right? Gemara Daf Lamed. Correct. One's there, one's still the Melech of Klal Yisrael. He's David Melech, who wrote Sefer Tehillim. Look what he accomplished in his life. So it's exactly saying the point between a dead person and a live person. It's making the point. But again, look at the stature of the dead person, and look at the stature of the live person. So you see, stature has nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with the cheshivas of life. And once you're gone, you're gone. Tanya, Tinik ben Yom Chaim Tinik ben Yom Chaim Mechalom Shabbos Amr Torah Chil of Shabbos Echad Kidei Sheyishmu Shabbos Harbe. Go ahead, be Mechal one Shabbos to go ahead and let him allowed to keep many other Shabbosos. David Melech Yisrael Mace ain't Mechal love. Why? Kivin Shemes Adam Batal Min HaMitzvahs. Once he dies, a person's batal from the mitzvahs. Behind the Rabbi Yochanan, B'Meisim Chavshi, B'Meisim Yechayfish, Kivin Shemes Adam Nasa Chavshi Min HaMitzvahs. Since the person dies, he becomes what? Chavshi from mitzvahs, and the person's dead. Tanya Shimon Lazo Oimet Tinoik Ben Yom Chai ain't Tzarich L'Shomer Min HaCholda. You don't have to worry about the weasel. The weasel's not going to come take near a baby because he's alive. The rodents are not going to come near a baby. Avaloig Melech Habashan, despite his great stature, Mace, once he's dead, you have to watch out for the weasels and for the akvarim. So, in other words, we're showing the discrepancies, nothing to do with size, nothing to do with chashivas, it has to do with life and death. Shnemar, and your moira and your dread, you should be as long as a person's alive, then the creatures are scared of him. Once he dies, their fear dissipates, and the Tzelem Elokim is gone. The Tzelem Elokim is gone, and therefore the animals are not scared of him. Amra Papa Nakatina, take the following Masorah with you. Aryeh abe trey loy nafel. An aryeh will not fall on two people. The lion won't attack two people. Fred the Gemara Chazin in the nafel, we do see a lion attacking two people. Says Gemara, Hahu kide Rami Baraba. Daman Rami Baraba, ein chaya sheletis ba'adam at shenid b'loy kebehema. A chaya cannot be shayla on a person unless he thinks the person is an animal. Shnemar, Adam bikar bar yolin, a person is glory, by yolin lie down, nimshal. Nimshal kebehemis. Once nimshal kebehemis, nidmu. So again, as long as he looks like a person to the animals will not be scared of him. As a matter of fact, Adam Arishain, la'acha the cheder de etzadas, so he was scared. He was scared because again, since he was chayta, he was scared. So therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made him clothing that had all the pictures of all the animals in the world on the clothing, because that clothing afforded him protection. Because anyone who wore that clothing had shlita over the animals. That's why Asa was such a profound hunter, because he had gone ahead and killed Nimrod. Nimrod is the Torah describes as a Gibor Chayil, he describes him as a very Gibor Tzai, like this Gibor Chayil is the Lashon. He was a very strong man. They gave him a big title because he had this clothing. So an animal can only kill. They say if you see a lion or any of these wild animals, the last thing to do is to run, because if you run, they think you're prey. They think you're animals. They say to hold your ground. Right? They say to hold your ground because if you hold your ground, the chances are they'll realize that you're a bus of a dumb and not an animal. But if you run away, they'll think you're an animal. Huh?
See the lion? I'd rather not.
Again, if you see a lion, it's too late.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. He'll
Running.
it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. But they say you hit you. Moish, what are you supposed to do? Hit him in the nose? What do you do?
Yeah. Put your hand on his mouth. Pull out his tongue.
Pray.
Put your hand in his mouth and take his teeth out.
No, just pull the trigger on the gun you're carrying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to make sure you hit it in the right spot. Yeah.
Rabbi,
Yes.
that's what they say, that because the birds and the fish weren't chayta with intermarriage, that's why they kept the fear of Adam. Even afterwards, birds and fish still run away from Adam, right? And all the other guys are not afraid. Only fish and birds are, because they weren't.
Okay.
They didn't intermarry.
Tell that to
They
the
kept
man that got killed by a shark last week.
They kept the Tzelem Elikim.
Yeah, the sharks do. If
Most of the time they think it's a seal.
the sharks think it's a seal.
Most of the time.
How do you know? How do you know what the shark
They
thinks?
interviewed one.
They interviewed a shark. Yeah,
So
baby
shark.
shark, right? They interviewed Daddy Shark from Baby Shark, right? Right. No, but it is fascinating that the Tzelem Elikim is they won't attack. I mean, it's an amazing thing. Okay.
I like the taste.
Amr Chanina, asa liyashem bebeis yechidi. It's asa to sleep in a house alone. V'chol yashin bebeis yechidi aksasei lilis. And anyone who sleeps in a house alone will be grabbed by Lilith. Now, this is no one argues on this, right? Now, Lilith, if you have to know, Lilith is, it's a magazine for witches. You know what I'm saying? It's the mother of all shadim. Lilith is the mother of all shadim. So if you sleep in a house alone, you have to worry about this. Now, this is not put down in the halacha. It's not put down in the Mechaber. It's not put down in the Ramah. However, if you look in Reish Lamed Tes, in the Mishnah Bura, and it tells what you should do before you go to sleep at night. So what should you do? It says, Shabalayla Koydem Hashena. This is in Sifkat and Tes. Stop talking. Koydem Hashena. Koydem Hashena. Nachem Adam sheyifash feish b'maisav. You should check your deeds. Think about the day. She'asa kol yoyim. The mimtzu she'asa aveira. And if you find you did an aveira, I would never fall asleep. You smad you go ahead, say vidu on it. V'kabel alatzmoi she'asa oyin. Even kabel on yourself. Make a cheshbon and nefesh. Ubeprat ba'avonis hamitzuyim kigoyin chanifis, flattery, shkorim, lying, leitzonis, fighter, lashon hara, and lashon hara. You knew the Chavetz Chaim's got to throw in lashon hara, right? He's got to throw in lashon hara. V'chein avoin bittul Torah, and also the oven of bittul Torah. Tzrichim bedika b'yoser. These are very. You need even a bigger bedika. Gamroy limcha l'chol mi shechata kineg b'tziarai. You should also, guys, it's a good thing to be meichel everyone who that you were chayta, anyone that you didn't have very be chayta. This chus says the Gemara Megillah, you have arichas yamim. So that's what you should do before you go to sleep at night. Instead of saying I ran out of Ambien, how am I going to fall asleep? Well, your wife is talking to you and you're trying to shut her up. You know, whatever's working. I hope it's not recorded. Anyways, so you know. Anyways, so, what else is on? Okay, anyway, with all the things that you do, I'm saying these are, you make a little cheshbon, you think about what's going through your life, and you be mitzvah that, and it says you should go ahead and forgive people, right? And you should forgive people. That you should forgive people. Now, Amr Chacham Zal Hayashim bebayis yechidi, someone who sleeps alone at night, v'hainu b'layla, echazat v'lilis, ubayis hainu b'cheder. Now, so the Mishnah Berurah does bring this down. Yet, most of us, especially in the summer, right? We look forward to that day where, there's like we discovered and shared, the best sound is Sunday night when you walk into the house, you take the keys and you just drop them down, you throw your clothing on the floor, and you just, you know that feeling, right? And none of you are thinking, saying, oh gosh, I got to go to sleep and Lilith is going to be here, right? So what are some of the heterim? So I heard this fellow Bornstein today, Shuli Bornstein, said some very interesting things. He said, first of all, he brings down the tshuva for him. He brought down from a tshuva, like, can you sleep alone in a sukkah and not worry about Lilith? So he said, the mitzvah will protect you. So he brought down that therefore the mezuzah will protect you. He also brought down the fellow in the Stipler said if you have a light on, there's a makor, guys, you shouldn't sleep in the house. That's where you should have a light on in your house. The makor is for this. The makor, we should be pitch black. You yechidi in the house, you should have a light on in the house. Now there's a gra. This is a great shot. This is fantastic, guys. Look at the diak of the gra. Look what it says. Let's see this inside. It says the Gemara. Amar Rav Chanina asa liyashein b'bayis yechidi. It says it's also to sleep in a house alone. Now, if it meant sleeping alone in the house, it should say asa lishain yechidi b'bayis. It should say asa. It's asa to sleep yechidi alone in the house. Why don't you say it's asa to sleep in a house that's alone? This is only halacha if your house is like, all alone, like a haunted house and no one's around you, then it's a problem. But if your house is among others, says the Gra, it's not a problem. It's a beautiful diak, right? It doesn't say it's isolation yechidi b'bayis. It says isolation of house that's alone. And that would be a good heta this would be a very good heta. Okay. The tiny of Shimon Elazar Omer, asa at sha'ata maitza. Go ahead and give money while you can find it. It finds you. And you're still alive. You have Shleimam v'chachmasei b'zachas b'recha b'mei b'chusecha. Remember Kadosh Baruch Hu when you're young. Ad lo yava yemei hara. Eli mei zikna. That's when you get old. V'yigia shonim asher tfayma einli behem chayfetz. Eli mei Mashiach. Shein behem leischus v'leichayvet. Most Mashiach, you won't have what? Well, you won't have wealth. Everyone's gonna be wealthy. You won't have any poverty. So you won't have any people to give tzedakah to. Upligi the Shmuel Dam Shmuel Ein bein olam hazel lemes Mashiach. Ela shivim machleis bizvad. So somebody once says, if there's going to be no poor people, how are you going to find tzedakah? So Shach said, there's always be yeshivas. Always be yeshivas. Because yeshivas always needs money. There'll always be yeshivas, Shach said. Says Shmuel, they'll never be the destitute, won't leave your land. Even Moshe Mashiach, they won't leave, the destitute won't leave the land. Okay, we'll stop over here.
Sure.
Have a good night, everybody. Okay, I will give you news on the Siyam. Ari, nice to see you.
Good night.
Good night.
Sir, which night are you thinking?
I don't know. I'm going to speak to Schoenfeld. What works for you?
Tuesday or Thursday?
I'm saying it's Tuesday or Thursday. Okay, we'll see. Thursday, guys. Thursday's not going to work. The guys will all go up to the country.